Mums are important, aren't they?
Oh, mums are very important.
They're always your mum. Can you imagine a time when you're not going to be mummy to Arthur and Dorothy?
No.
Right?
Never. Dorothy said to me once, what do you want me to call you? Angel or Angela? I said, I want you to call me Mummy because there's only 2 people in the world that can call me that.
And that's where, you know, to be fair, I'm always going to be my mum's big boy because I'm the oldest of her boys, and I'm still her baby still.
She calls you her baby. She goes, oh, Richard, you always be my baby.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, and it just is a fact that we're always, that's the huge part of it. But they've been with us all our lives. What's your earliest memory of your mum? Earliest memories?
Oh, I've got 2 sort of ones that
You're making them really early, yeah.
really early. I just remember sort of sitting always like on my mum's lap, like I just didn't want to ever leave her, like Dorothy was with me, always on my hip. I was always hugging my mum, just snuggling with her. And then I remember having a Wendy house, and Mum would have our neighbours over, just so we'd like to have a little cup of tea. And I just loved to sit in this Wendy house and ew.
Your mum talks about the fact that you used to be there listening, like a sort of, ooh, what's going on here? Little ladies.
I loved it. I was like, well, no, they wasn't. They were just sort of gorgeous sort of young ladies, actually, younger than me. Just hanging out with my mum either in the kitchen. I know that she just always used to put me on the kitchen counter. I just got lots of memories. I can't remember specifically, but just sitting on there while Mum was like peeling the potatoes, and you know, or I was always just sitting next to her. Just honestly, I was just like a little sort of mini me. It's very similar to how Dorothy is with me. Actually, it's lovely.
See, I'm notoriously bad for my memory. You know,
I'm not saying a word.
Yeah, but you're wrong, Dick, because you don't remember properly. But when it comes to lots of sort of memories, very, very young. See, the thing is, my mum was always there. She was the person who was there. Dad was off working, and in fact, at one stage, Dad worked away to earn money for one of the businesses he'd set up and things, and so he was away, and Mum was there looking after lots of little ones, yeah. And that sort of memory is that Mum has always been there. But we've got sort of other things that come together, like car journeys. No, this is sort of like, I think the 60s, with the glasses with the little pointy bits on it. Mum's on one side of the car, Dad's on the other, and we're in a state car with bench seats, and the whole car's full of children because we're all in there. And between Mum and Dad, who would be sort of driving off somewhere, maybe go see my grandparents or going for a day trip or something, there'd be 2 children between them on the bench seat front, not a seatbelt in sight. Mum and Dad puffing away, having a cigarette with the window shut, yeah. And then there'd be the 2 in the front, maybe 4 in the back, and then friends and the dog and things in the back. So that's a whole lot of us together. But it was all sort of being there in the family. And I think from my perspective, it's just the fact that they're always there, because round the table talks, making Christmas special, all those things. I think my mum was doing half of it for my dad as well, because he just loved that whole family experience. And that's all the way through.
You have definitely had a different upbringing to me because there's so many of you. I mean,
we are our own clan.
No.
Yeah. When Bobby turned up 10 years sort of after the rest of us, we were actually old enough to work out what our mum and dad had done for Bobby to turn up. That was scarring. It was a scarring thing.
I love listening to your mum's stories though. I think your mum actually does have a better memory of your sort of your childhood, but I think my mum does as well. I think mums do, because they are obviously they are older. But honestly, I could listen to your mum all day just talking about you sort of growing up. You was actually quite a bad boy.
I was perfect. I was perfect. Keep telling Arthur that. That's really quite important. But the whole thing about the adventures we have, do you have memories of your mum sort of working and sort of and early, because my mum made the decision that she was always going to be there in the morning and there in the afternoon. We came back throughout all of our childhood, so she had to work from home. But what about your mum? How did your mum sort of add to the family and the household type thing? Did she work?
Mum was always working. Dad was always working as well, but Mum was often doing night work, and sometimes she had night work and day work. I just, that's throughout everything and was always there to cook us dinner because Dad don't like cooking.
Yeah, Dad doesn't cook.
Dad does not
Pappy
cook.
cooking scares me as a thought.
But Mum throughout was always there and always working, and actually because of that got a stronger relationship with both my grandmas, because often in holidays I was there. You know, they were just like you know, Mum's here for Arthur and Dorothy, and Mum needed her mum and Dad needed Nan to make sure that everyone could like earn a living.
And the other earning the living was great, because my dad, when he worked away, he literally worked away for months on end, working with the oil company in Libya and the Far East and things. And when he was away doing it, Mum was there holding it together. But we were very fortunate in our upbringing, because you know, Mum would be there, but she also had to make money. So she was doing things like I remember her working from home. She used to do the most immaculately sewn curtains and things. You know, as part of, but when she did it, there was such pride in it that she was doing it. And
but your mum was actually really, really good, and she sort of didn't it sort of take off a little bit.
Okay, could have taken off completely, except for she. You know, to be fair, we work to have money to do the other things. And it's the other things I remembered more than the work. But Mum was doing them, and I was aware of her doing them, as opposed to thinking of her evening spent doing it. But it could have grown into a full business.
I think she was getting quite a lot of orders, because I
Yeah,
remember
she was, yeah.
her telling us the story that at one point that literally she had curtains laid out on the floor in every single room, and then loads of kids running around. I just think that's such a lovely picture, and that is also really, you know, it's a dedicated mum that wants to be with you, being resourceful, you know, in this sort of day and age.
But even then, because for you it's only sort of 30 years ago, for me it's 50 years ago, but the mums contributing to keep everything going and working as a team, we've learned that from our families, we learned that from our mums, and I think it's really important. But the other thing comes to me as well, mums are actually people. It takes you a long time to actually get your head around it. I can always remember seeing my mum and dad in their glad rags about to go out, going, whoa, that's not my mum, look at her, she's got her frock on, she's got her makeup, and they're off partying, but they're actually people as well.
Yeah. What, with a life?
I know! What's that?
Do you think Arthur and Dorothy think that we've got a life? Or because your kids, once you have children, they are your life, aren't they? And you know, you don't...
Especially for mums, because children look at mums as being mums. We have this little thing where we talk about the family here. The husband loves the wife loves the children love the hamster. All right, and that's a sort of a hierarchy within in sort of the world. But looking up and seeing your mum as a person and doing things, my mum knew how to have fun.
I know.
Yeah, what do you remember of your mum like that?
I actually do remember Mum and Dad partying quite a lot.
There you go.
Yeah, they are still, in a different way, but they're still party animals, and they've still got some.
Well, that's why they like to go on holiday sort of 10 times a year.
And they are still partying with some of the same friends that I've grown up with my entire life. Honestly, you know, friends that have come here to the Chateau to our wedding and what have you. Obviously, they were all here at their wedding anniversary, and it was lovely. And they all talk about, you know, when all their children were younger, and also all the parties that they had, all the cocktails and the times that they got drunk. And
but you see that thing about your mum being a real person. My mum and dad had actually been known to argue. I know we never argued. We would never even think about arguing.
Cal's got something to say about that.
Yeah, but I can remember, because you think, when do you discover your mum's actually a different person from just being your mum? My mum and dad had an argument once, and she dyed all his underwear pink. Now this is the time when you had white vests, white Y fronts. That's the only underwear there was. No boxers, no jockey shorts, or any of that nonsense. And he used to go and play squash regularly. And she dyed his underwear pink. So my father was wearing pink underwear in the changing rooms at the squash court. That taught me a thing or two.
Your mum has just got such a great sense of humour with that.
I'm sure Dad laughed.
No, but she is. In fact, like, your mum always talks about when she's told, you know, the kids off or George, your dad off. There's always such a twinkle in her eye. She does naughty telling off.
Yeah, and that's right. But we see, when it comes to sort of them being people and going forward, I think they're strong. Mums are strong.
Yeah.
Your mum has been the centre of the family at your side as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, definitely. That's what mums are. They are there, and they are your comfort. They are you know, they know everything. You know, you think that they know everything, and they are just your first go-to.
It's interesting because I was the first of the 7 to leave home at the age of 16.
That must have been really hard.
I went off to sixth form college in England before I went to Sandhurst. When I left home to go to Welbeck, my mum and dad were so strong, and it was mum really sort of saying, no, you've got to go and do it, you've got to go and do these things, and I'd be on the phone crying, so take me home. Oh yeah, bloody hell, I wanted to go home. And then mum would say, no, this is the right thing. And then only afterwards you find out how upset she was.
I know, but your mum would have been strong and being like, it's okay, Rich.
No, it makes sense. Yes, it absolutely
well, she was, yeah.
Absolutely was. And I think that's sort of strength, because you try and protect your children. Dads do as well, but they do it in a much more sort of man envelope around the top of your children, whereas mums are in nurturing and doing it differently.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. I was thinking about the first days of school. I wonder if my mum remembers actually my first day of school.
She will do. You just never asked her. If you ask her, she'll remember it all.
I remember mum always, she was very, very paranoid. I see it with Arthur and Dorothy as well now, but she never liked me going out and crossing the road by myself. And
she still wouldn't. She still wouldn't.
I know she does. She does still tell me. You know, whenever I get in the car now, she says, "Be careful on the road." But when I was about 7 years old, she let me go to a charity shop.
You have a little scratch, dog. Give a wee scratch. Yes. Yeah. You just sort of little mongrel. So you cross the roads.
Well, so I was about 7 years old, and down the end of our back garden, down along a sort of side road, there was a charity shop, and I took my pocket money and on my bike, and mum sort of said, you can go up by yourself. So I rode my bike down to a charity shop. I thought I bought a little fur jacket. Actually, it was something sort of, you know, really, really odd that no one thought I'd buy, and I came back, and honestly I was like 7, and I was like, I've been to the shop by myself. I was so proud. I told absolutely everybody. And it wasn't until...
Go on, dog, lie down.
I'm talking you. And it wasn't until, I think I was at my hen party, obviously, for you, and that's...
In case there's any ambiguity as to which hen party she's talking about.
I was at my hen party, and my mum was telling one of my friends, I think it was Vicky, about when she let me go down to the charity shop, but she followed me all the way down. I was like, I thought that for the last 30 odd years that I was such a big girl. That was my moment. But it just, I know that I do exactly the same now.
My mum and dad, exactly the same way. Because Linda was the first of us to get a car and drive. She had a little Honda Quick, lovely little car. And I think Dad followed her on her first journey to make sure she got from A to B. That's what parents are, and that's what they do. It's really quite special, isn't it? I don't think our mums are ever going to stop worrying about us.
No,
my mum is,
not.
even though I'm actually supposed to be a grown up, just to put that in context, they're never going to stop worrying.
They don't. It's part of what mums do, isn't it? And as we grow older, you know, our mums have become better.
Got an itch, isn't she?
And as we grow older and have had children now, I get on a totally different sort of level everything your mums do for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we do, and we love them, don't we?
We love them, and we do tell them on Mother's Day that we love them. I tell them every day.
Yeah, well, every time I speak to my mum, which is quite a lot still, and we long may it continue, because there's a little thing, I'm going to plagiarise one of the sayings, people, you know, a mum's for life, not just for childhood.